আরে আমি এটা নতুন কিনবো কিন্তু যে সময় বার করে করতে পারি না, একটা মিলে যেতেছি
এটা সিট 70 দিয়ে
বর্তমানে আমি কিসের উপর আছি তুই হয়তো বলতে পারো যে
Come through some bold strikes, some sensible batting. It's there to be hit. You go through. Don't just be overawed by the situation. It's a very refreshing attitude between these two batsmen here. And some good bowling interspersed here by Shakib Al Hassan. Not getting the ball turn as much as it did in the previous game, but just depending on those variations very nicely. It must be a little relief wish with this pair at least putting up a fight.
Depends on how high your standards are, Sharon. But Alvaro Joseph has shown great application to his game all round, but more so his batting in the last couple of seasons. I think he averaged over 100 in the last first-class season. He got a lovely half-century in New Zealand at Hamilton. So he's a cricketer who's building an all-round game. One off the over, 120 for 8.
তেল পেঁয়াজ আর ভাতের সাথে মিলে ম্যাজিক্যালি তৈরি করবে ফ্রাইড রাইস। এলো ম্যাগি ফুজিয়ান ফ্রাইড রাইস সিজনিং মিক্স। ম্যাগি ফুজিয়ান ফ্রাইড রাইস সিজনিং মিক্স, চাইলেই ভাত হবে ফ্রাইড রাইস।
Nestle, good food, good life. যার যেমন পছন্দ নিমিশেই তৈরি মজাদার পোষণ ভরানো ইয়ামি স্বাদে পুষ্টির বাহার।
It's a fight back. They needed this. Mustafizur Rahman has been very parsimonious with his figures. 1 for 11 of 6. Well, very tentative with that shot.
It's a good field set though, because with the angle of Mustafizur across Joseph, and of course we've known over the years the supple wrist of Mustafizur to put revs on the ball and bowl that cutter, brings that man in there at a short slip position, maybe a fourth slip into play if he goes hard at it. They have to look to bat out the overs, so that's the key thing.
Once again, tested, not reading that little bit of grip that he gets, the purchase that he manages somehow even at his pace. He's going at quite pacey now. Tentative.
Look at the wrist. For those of you who haven't seen a lot of him, many of you know about Mustafizur, but you could see the wrist pulling down the outside of the ball, the fingers pulling down the outside and producing that traction. You see, there we go. That's the smartness of the field set. Superb captaincy, excellent bowling by Mustafizur to his field.
Yeah, baited the batsman there. Just the way you could feel it coming, and all credit, you're talking about the field placement. The gully was not too deep, but the fourth slip and the gully position, anticipating that guide from the batter Alzari Joseph, just fell into, just got sucked into that, and made it simple for Litong Dash to take that catch. Well, They needed to carry on, but unfortunately they've lost the wicket. He seemed to be going well, but he's gone for 17 now. 120 for now.
একটা তোমার আরেকটা ভাইয়া ভাইয়া স্কুল থেকে ফিরে দেবে আমারটাও
আমাদের সাথে আপনার সম্পর্কটা হোক এমন ভরসা। সিটি ব্যাংক, 3 প্রজন্ম ধরে আপনার ভরসার ব্যাংক।
ক্ষুধার আগুন নেভাতে মজাদার স্বাদে অল টাইম ফ্যামিলি কেক। ক্ষুধাকে গুড বাই।
After a little bit of a fight back, the West Indians have lost their 9th wicket. Last man in, Aqil Hussain, possibly have more to do with the ball than with the bat, but he'll be hoping that he'll give Powell some company in the middle. He's in the middle because of this. That's the way Mustafizur Rahman, cutter master, getting it to bounce maybe a shade higher and getting the upper part of the bat. Kali fielder Liton Dash just see, he didn't read the length. He's sort of half stepping forward, then had to check his shot and glided into the safe hands.
Managed short mid-wicket for this delivery. Off slip as well as a deepish gully in there as well. Will he be looking to attack the pads and the stumps? Ideally, you would want Rahman Powell batting higher in this lineup. But to be fair, his form in different formats in the last year and a bit in which he's played hasn't been great. But for Aqil Hussain, look, I understand very well. These guys, some of them didn't expect to be here until a few weeks ago. And what I've tried to emphasize all along is the work that needs to go into batting development in the Caribbean. So I'm not angry with them. I'm just trying to point out how they must improve, one, their mindset, and what help can we give to them? What help can what help can we as past players give to them?
That begs the question. Once they're back, they will be feeling that the top-rung cricketers will be back to make themselves available for the international arena. Now, how does that affect their thought process in getting the confidence that when will they get a chance again? It's awkward situation. Talk about that. End of the over, 129, 20 for 9.
দেশের জন্য একটু ভালো কাজ করে হলেও একযোগ করা আমাদের দায়িত্ব। আসুন বাংলাদেশের 50 বছরের পূর্বক্ষণে দেশের জন্য একযোগে কাজ করি, আত্মা ছড়িয়ে দিই ইন্টারনেটের শক্তিতে।
আমার মতো আপনারাও জানেন ডায়রিয়া সহ যে কোনো পানি শূন্যতায় আমার রাস্তা এসএমসি রোড স্যালাইনে কেনার সময় প্যাকের গায়ে এসএমসির লোগো দেখে কিনবেন।
এসএমসির ওট স্যালাইনে
About 20 for 9, Bangladesh doing a really good job as you would expect with their experience. An inexperienced opposition is learning some lessons. And I'll answer your question if we get the chance. I think, Shanin, though, when these guys, young, not necessarily young, but inexperienced guys go back, particularly the younger ones, it is a challenge when senior players are in a team. But that, I think, is the crucible. It is the crucible of where good players are formed. Come back to it. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, when the more established players are playing in the Super 50, it means then that you, the younger player, has to lift your game and you really have to break down the door by excellent bowling or batting in order to displace those guys. So you're out of your comfort zone. And I think, Shannon, that's a good thing. It means that you're not getting an easy ride into the team, which has happened in times past. You have to be better than the guys who are there to get in, and that is the way it always should be. It should not be watered down.
Absolutely, and that's the point I was trying to make by asking you that question, because we're talking about fast-tracking people in, which should be avoided at all costs. Has it happened here? We've seen that happen, and they've just, after a couple of games, not performing well, not being able to adjust to the requirements of the international arena, and suddenly they drop. And I feel it's a little unfair on some of the players by bringing them in too early. And that's what we've been talking about in the previous stint also. This is one way of looking at it, but the opportunities have been given to these youngsters on this tour. They've got to make the best of it.
I think there is going to be, and that's where good selectors come into play. Akil was saying, I'll put the word on the name. Shapes up. You can see why he has a first-class 100. He's coming in at 11, but he shapes up well. But he's underperformed with the bat domestically for me. He's a better player than that. Competent. There's a lot to work with. Yeah, look. Your selectors, it's an average of 11, but he should be doing much better. Your selectors, wherever you are in the world, India, Australia, England, South Africa, wherever, have to be critical parts of your developmental process. Because they have to see beyond numbers and see what potential is there. Otherwise, you can put anyone to sit at Cricinfo and they can pick the top 5 batsmen and put them in a team. It's more than just the numbers. It's what you see technique-wise, what you can glean from the mentality of the player, and you have to see what other people don't see. So I don't mind a player being fast-tracked, provided that you see something in that guy who can go on to be a Shakib, a Lara,
Just leaving aside the pandemic period, I mean, this has been a period where the selectors have been forced to not really give their 100% effort as professionals. And we'll come back to it in the next over. Another little question for you is that how involved on a regular basis do the selectors need to be at different age level cricket? I mean, we have different selectors for age level cricket. Should that be different, or should that be working together with the seniors? Answer in the next over. 39 done. 1, 2, 3 for 9.
এইটা না তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বোঝাতে পারলাম না।
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবুর নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে। তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই।
আনারসের দারুণ স্বাদে বিস ক্লাব দিচ্ছে ফ্রুট ফান ক্রিম বিস্কুট। ভালো খান, ভালো থাকুন।
Match number 1. Bangladesh winning by 6 wickets. They stroll to victory. They'll get better Bangladesh as they go along. Last ball of the previous over. From round the wicket again. Scramble seam. Good pace on it. Straightening. And that's where Hassan Mahmood, if he has the proper diet, if he gets the right advice from the academy, from Otis Gibson, from the coaches, has great potential as he gets stronger, smarter. Because as I said in that first game, if Bangladesh are to win overseas more often, they've developed into an excellent white ball team. But red ball cricket, they need fast bowlers to supplement the batsmen and the spinners.
Well, rather airy-fairy, not the wisest option. Maybe Powell thinking that I try to garner a few runs. Doesn't have the confidence on Akil Hussain, but you just mentioned Akil has got a domestic 100, so he should be realizing that.
This is a critical delivery that made Mustafizur successful in white ball cricket in his early years. He slides it into leg stump with that cutter, and the ball deviates from leg stump to off stump. Brilliant. And so what happens, Shamin, is that the ball starts tracking down, not necessarily in a blind spot, but just on about leg stump a lot of the time. And when the batsman, as we've seen in T20, looks to hit it into the onside, the deviation then brings the outside edge into play. So at his best, Mustafizur can be a handful. Yeah, free hit coming up. So now Rockman Powell can line up and have a dip.
Not often we see Mustafizur Rahman overstepping, and that's quite a big one. We're trying to put a little extra into their effort in the previous delivery. The third umpire is now calling the no ball, so there he goes, anticipating that, and possibly a no ball again. Oh, goodness gracious.
I wonder if Mustafizur was trying to get a yorker. Powell gave him a good sighting of the stumps very early, so Mustafizur had enough time to maybe change his line to leg stump. It was a free hit, remember that.
Moves again, makes room on the onside, tonks it away but does not time it. Scampering through is a free hit, so he had the license to really go anywhere he wanted, but unfortunately not from the meaty part of the bat. He seems pretty happy with what he is doing at the moment, enjoying himself in the middle. Most of his cutters today, look at him, some of them pitching outside leg stump. The variation of length has been exemplary, and he's just used that angle, natural angle, very well. He comes wide on the onside, and little grip that the ball gets. Sometimes it grips like that, sometimes it doesn't. That's why the seed of doubt in the batsman's mind, whether to go for it or leave it.
And it's a good bowler. And now he's getting the new ball to swing back because his wrist position is slightly more upright. He can do better with it. And that slinging action at the end and the cutters makes him a really effective bowler. I want to show you something. If we last another over, Shamin, I want to show you something in the next over, and for our viewers, that intrigues me. Mustafizur goes round the wicket. Yeah, I'm looking at Akil Hussain. If they freeze it there, forget the no ball. I'm looking at Akil Hussain. What I want to teach my young players is when you're at the non-striker's end, why are you looking down the road? You should be looking at the bowler, having a glance at him to see when he's released the ball. Some guys will be looking at the front foot. I know some batsmen who look at the front foot so that you can see when the ball is released and then look down the other end. Too many batsmen take a lazy option and don't look at the bowler releasing the ball and break the crease early.
Very good point. I think even when you're at the non-strikers end, you see the release, you actually prepare yourself when you're at the other end and facing the guy who's bowling those deliveries. So from close in, you're getting the perfect view. Maybe a little side on, but you see the grip of the bowler. You see if the seam is upright, what the ball is doing. Next ball, you see a scrambled seam and see what the ball is doing then. And you prepare yourself. Absolutely right. Very good point. Obviously, you make very good points all the time, Bish.
No, but in T20 cricket, I think we might have to go back to Mustafizur because there were a couple of no balls in the last over. I think the umpires miscounted. Yeah, they're just double checking that at the moment. No, they're saying no. They're saying they got the count right. The goal is for Akil and for Powell to just bat out the overs, take what is given to them.
Last segment of power play, 40 overs to 50, 41 to 50, allows the fielding unit to have 5 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. With the moment you can see pressure being created by Tamim Iqbal with just the 3 boundary riders. Well, that's just rather silly. Didn't have to do that at all. That is the problem. Rush of blood, unnecessary shots attempted. Could have gone wrong completely.
I'm assuming that this is where Rahman Powell should be having a word with Akil Hussain and say, mate, we've got 9 overs and 4 balls possible to come.
It's not that Akil Hussain hasn't got the strokes. He's got the defensive shots, as we saw in the previous over, lining himself up very nicely behind the ball with the full face of the bat. Then he goes and does something silly like that.
Well, you can look around the field, Akil Hussain, right now, look leg side and see that if Mahmood gets too straight left of your screen, that there's an easy single if he gets bat on it.
The wide given down the leg side. So this young Hassan Mahmood, maybe his captain should have a little bit of chat with him, because he's seems to be trying too many different things in the over. Just as a bowler also, you need to be patient. Times you will get frustrated, you'll get excellent deliveries which don't result in wickets. You've got to keep pegging away.
Yeah, you're right, Shani. I think what we have to remember is that he's 21 years of age. And so at 21, you sometimes think I should be getting a wicket every over. But as he goes along his career, he will understand, with advice from Tamim and Shakib and Mushfiq and Russell Domingo and Otis Gibson, that hey, at this level, that doesn't happen. So he's 21, I love what I see. And we need to give them time. It's another couple of years at least before he starts understanding the requirements.
I had to wait for that little quake cross and had to scramble through to complete the run. Shanto took a made a run out earlier, and now Akil, just tell yourself, respect the good ball if it comes along. If there's one long hop to be punished, then obviously you go for it. It's missed timing completely. The big hit over mid-wicket. Well, he's thrown the bat at it and not timed well enough, but some runs to finish off, a couple of runs. End of 41, 132 for now.
একটা তোমার আর একটা ভাইয়া ভাইয়া স্কুল থেকে ফিরে দেবে আমারটাও
আমাদের সাথে আপনার সম্পর্কটা হোক এমন ভরসা সিটি ব্যাংক। 3 প্রজন্ম ধরে আপনার ভরসার ব্যাংক।
Just a few names to remind our viewers of guys who aren't here. 1 or 2 would have been in the test squad only. Many of those would have been in this one-day squad. Shamar Brooks, test specialist. The rest of the guys perhaps would have been in the one-day squad had they elected to come. So we have to understand and be sympathetic in a sense to some of the guys who are here. But when you can get all of these guys on the park, if you can get all of this group with one or two from here on the park, it's a competitive team. Puran, I think, is someone who can go on to be excellent. Shimron Hetmeyer as well, captain that under 19 team here. Evan Lewis is a good player. Shea Hope, outstanding one-day player. Outstanding. Kyron Pollard, dangerous players, had a good year of white ball cricket. Jason Holder, lots of experience and increasing skill. Darren Bravo with work to do. Sheldon Cottrell, very good new ball bowler. So when you can get all these guys in the right mental space and playing together, it's a good team to work with.
Well, the list we saw, which contains players mostly who pulled out for COVID reasons. There are a couple of others, Shane Dowrich and Fabian Allen, who pulled out because of personal reasons. So there's quite a few things that have gone into players pulling out. Unfortunate, I must say, it's unfortunate for even the Bangladesh team not playing with the strongest West Indian 11. They'd have liked that challenge. They've done well against the full team, but it's one of those things we've got to take it and carry on, I suppose.
I look past that, you know. Bangladesh don't want any sympathy, because in days gone when they lost a record 21 games in Test cricket and 23 one-day games consecutively, people weren't having any mercy on them. They've developed now, Bangladesh, to the point where in white ball cricket, they're very competitive. Very competitive. Test match cricket at home, they're good. They're not an easy target. Away, there's work to do. So Bangladesh is just doing what they need to do against what is put in front of them.
Yeah, that's all right. But you see, the point I was trying to make is that because, as you mentioned, we are a very strong unit. They've made a name for themselves. They're up in the ICC rankings, even over the West Indies and a couple of other teams. So a stronger opposition would test them coming out of this long period of hiatus, 9 months, and see, feel the strength and give them the courage and the determination to carry on, even if it didn't work out for them. A true test seems to be a lot easier with this opposition, sorry to say.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. And the point I'm trying to make to you is that when Bangladesh weren't a great force, people did not have mercy on them.
I understand that.
So they're doing what they need to do, building to New Zealand, building to tougher challenges ahead. It is what it is, unfortunately.
Set 42 overs completed. West Indies have moved on to 135 for now.
Friday te shrimp Maggie, Saturday te veggie one, Mongol boot, Brihospati sushi egg, Tom yum, Sunday Monday Maggie chicken KG.
ম্যাগি মানে ভিন্ন স্বাদে প্রতিদিন।
From Nestle.
The resistance has been there for the West Indies team, which is good to see. Akhil Hossain is holding fort along with Powell, 56 of 60. He's the one who's taking this West Indies flag ahead, ensuring that they just don't crumple. Kaufman Pau. Yes, he's more of the experience between the two players, and he's clearly showing that skill. Hassan Mahmood into his ninth, picked up a wicket. It's nice. It's nice to see the West Indies ready to put in that grind, ready to fight it out. It will help them. Yes, the top order hasn't performed, hasn't lived up really to what's expected of them, or could have been a better performance. At least not they're putting the guns down without a fight. But to be fair, Radha, I think the bowling has been good again from Bangladesh.
Spot on, Anju. They've been very good, very disciplined, very consistent and good line and length in the business area all the time, creating that pressure. They've made life difficult for the West Indies batting lineup. He must be a very pleased man, Tamim Iqbal. Early days as a skipper. And he'd be really finding the role of leadership a really good one. Because as a player, when you're given the added responsibility to lead the side, you would want everything to fall in the right places, and that's exactly what has happened so far. Also contributing with the bat, trying to lead from the front, and he's an excellent player. A very good track record. Started a career, showed a lot of flamboyance, but as he has grown older, he's matured in the way his approach in batting. It takes a little bit more time. He knows the responsibility of spending time in the middle. He's been a very attractive player, attractive to watch, and I'm just waiting to see similar kind of form as a skipper. High hopes on him. And he'll be hoping that they can pick up the last wicket as quickly as possible. Windies move on to 140 now.
Choose the call again. And he's going for it. He's going for the second. He has to be quick. Throw was good, but Hussain was better, up to the challenge.
Yeah, good running. Once he hit that in the wicket area, and it was aerial, he knew the second was on. So he had to take the first run very hard, and came back nicely. Good piece of fielding in the deep, right on top of the Wales, and he was well in.
I like the confidence on his face. He knew he was running in for the second and danger end, but just the manner and the composure he showed in completing that too. He knew that he was in control. Good to see. Very healthy. Good signs for Akeem Hussain. Outside edge. Will be a tough chase down at the third man region. Ball wins. IPDC 4. End of 43, 146 for 9. A nice thing, 146 for 9. They're bettering their score from the first ODI. West Indies, they're all in the 33rd over. 122 on the board for them. So this is definitely much better form. Not only because they've got more than 122, but just the manner in which they've shown the positivity to be hanging around there, especially the tail enders. And trying to show that fighting power as well, just like that boundary in the last over.
You're coming from the back of his hand. So he's showing the variety that he possesses. Hassan Mahmood, really good one. Yeah, it went to the boundary, but a really good delivery. Showing his skills as a bowler. It's been good. I'm just thinking why Rahman Powell has not batted up the order. He batted at number 7 in the first ODI, where he's scored 20 of 41. Today, set at number 8. And if you can see someone who shows signs of scoring runs and also spending time in the middle, you've got to give him more opportunities. He's got now 40 of 63 now. Was the skipper in the previous tour, remember that. So he's got that kind of experience, and I think lack of experience has shown in this side of West Indies. So you've got to use your experience, whatever you have.
The only thing that probably comes to mind is wanting to come back for 2 sent back. Good call from Akhil Hossain. There's no room for taking any risk. 9 down already. Let's have a look on Akhil Hossain. Yeah, good call. The only reason that comes to mind is probably when you look at the batting order of the West Indies. You know that there's an experience of Jason Mohammed there, there's a Rahman Powell, and you want them to be around largely, especially in the top order and then batting alongside the tail enders. And so when you have to play around with just 2 recognized players or players who've had further more experience than the others in the dressing room of the international cricket, you just want to spread it out. That's probably one of the reasons I feel Rahman Powell isn't being sent higher up the order. Gone. Clear hint that he wanted to come down, attack the off spinner. Mehdi Hassan, too good. He's well thought out the attack in Rahman Powell and picked up his 4th wicket.
Yeah, he's been excellent with the ball, Mehdi Hassan Miraj. He picks up his best figures in one-day internationals by picking up the 4th one in this fashion. Going for a big heave, extra bounce, that's the trick. Mushfiqur Rahim does the rest. Way down the wicket. West Indies bowled out for 148.
He's batted well and he's done a very good job. Personally, getting a good score of 41. West Indies finishing up their first innings at 148.
It's the first time Bangladesh have bowled out opponent for under 150 in 2 consecutive matches, the same series. That's the scorecard. 41 from Rahman Powell gave them some sort of stability in the lower order. I still feel he needs to bat up the order. Couple of 20s there, but not much from the top order. And in the end, only could manage to score 148 in 43.4.
Yeah, 4 wickets in the previous game for Shakib. This time it was Mehdi. Never allowed partnerships to come through. Needed at the top some more dominance by the openers. Omlet, the debutant, did come in stronger, but didn't have enough partners to ensure that the partnership keeps going on. Very good bowling performance for you personally. Are you happy with what you went out to achieve or want more the next game?
Yes, I'm really happy for that because last match I'm not doing well in the right area, so I discussed with our bowlers, specialist, our captain, and Sakib Bhai. He just tell me he's just going to right area ball, and another specialist, thanks to like our coach of spin, Sohail Khan. I just talk about with him because he just I just information on one thing. He just try to good area and just stop up ball. So I just try to that type of ball. So I am the success.
Very, very good, Mehdi. Just talk me about this last wicket of Rahman Powell. You saw him coming because you got that extra bit of bounce from the pitch.
Yeah, I saw he just coming fast. That's the thing. And our wicket keeper and also captain and Sakib Bhai just tell me the batsman will come to forward and will try to hit. So I'm just thinking about I'm not getting a 6 on boundary. So I just try to put 1 runs and 2 runs. So it's fine.
Very happy to see you perform well, Mehdi. All the very best.
Thank you very much.
Young player, young bowler, definitely very talented. Best ODI figures for Mehdi Hasan Miraj, picking up 4 wickets in his 9.4 overs, just for 25 runs. Of course, there was contributions from Shakib and Hassan Mahmood, but at the start, it was Mustafizur again providing the breakthrough. A few flashes outside the off stump. They had to go hard at anything that was being offered outside the off stump by the Bangladesh bowlers, but the moment Sunil Amrish played one straight to backward point region, just allowed the bowlers to settle in nicely. Initial bit from Kian Otley, he got stuck into the short pitch deliveries, but a few more times that he got the short pitch ball, chanced his arm at it once too many times, finally holding out to the extra cover fielder. And then it was gates open, with spinners coming in and picking up regular wickets for these West Indies batters. This was probably suicidal. Miles didn't really want to take this run, but the captain Jason Mohammed calling him over. And then finally Jason Mohammed being chastened to the stumps. Was batting really well and Nkrumah Bonner when he played on from the Hassan Mahmood delivery. Then the start of the off spinners dismissals. Very, very impressive bowling figures. The best for him in one-day internationals. Didn't really matter even if he got hit. He maintained a tight line and length, allowing other bowlers also to dominate, and then picking his 4th wicket of Rahman Powell. So the West Indies finished their innings at 140.